Hello, this is Peter Ward and this is a quick preview of GPXmagic version 2. As you can see, been a lot going on in GPXmagic labs and it's time to have a quick look and see what's changed and what's the same. So let's begin by opening a file. I guess the first thing to say is it's basically the same. You get the different views, you can move them around, you can rotate. Notice that the plus and minus buttons here replace the zoom slider that was on the side. That's consistent with the map. You've got your first person view, it zooms in and out. Your plan view, that's using the mouse wheel to scroll there, by the way. Profile view will scroll and drag the same way. The map view should load a bit quicker now and it defaults to the dragging of the track points mode, and there's the about box again. So pretty much all the same so far. But notice these extra controls here. If we make our screen bigger, you can use these controls to enlarge the size of your window. You can have one big window or you can shrink it down again and you can open more windows. And sometimes they sit side by side, so you can have 4 on a screen reasonably tidily. Create as much space as you can to optimize your experience. Only the first one can be the map, sorry about that, fact of life at the moment, but you can choose what views you want to have in the other panes. Now they all zoom and move independently, but if you double click on one pane, it will center the views on all of the other panes, regardless of which one you click in. Unless you don't want that to happen, if you spend a long time getting that view right, click the padlock to unlock it from the chain, and then double clicking on the other windows will not center that pane, but double clicking on that pane will center the other windows. Get your head around that one. And moving this position slider will move all the panes that are linked. Notice, by the way, there's a distance measure that shows meters from the start below that control. All the tools you're used to are still there, including the much underused tip jar, but now there's a little button by the side of the tool that will give you some relevant help. Tools remain open now until you click on them to close them, and that means that you can quite conveniently have multiple tools open to suit the job that you're doing. So by way of a quick example, let's have a look at some of the bend problems in this lap of Mount Kuta, if that's how you say it. One of the worst things about this track is that it seems to have had a number of very sharp bends, more than 110 degrees, where the track basically folds back on itself. You can see from the distances there, 4376 and 4377 meters, that you've actually got 2 track points very close together, and they are in fact in the wrong order. So the easiest way of dealing with that basically is to delete them, which is easily done because we can leave the delete tab open. When we've dealt with those, we find ourselves looking at what are real problems. So here's an interesting bend, and here's an example where I can show you the new bend smoother, which is like the old one, but it works in 3 dimensions. Which means it's suitable for horizontal things like bends, but it also works for gradient issues. So let's find a gradient issue, go straight to it and have a look. There we are, we can smooth that, and it's basically putting 5 points in the place of the 1 point. This is a massive upgrade from the previous version 1 tool that just stuck an extra point in there. This will deal with many of the trivial bend and gradient issues. Don't worry, the classic bend smoother, which puts in a perfectly circular arc, is still there and unchanged. Also in this release, the steep climbs tool, which lets you find climbs above the threshold that you set. And of course we're hoping that the investment of effort in version 2 will allow us to bring lots of new features your way very soon. Thank you for listening.